War is forever imprinted on Rubba's face. Even here in the safety of Qatar, far from the conflict, she avoids people and going out, still haunted by what she survived. This scene of carnage. It was a horror we uncovered earlier this year. The Israeli military attacked this warehouse in central Gaza, where Rubba and her family were sheltering. When our cameraman met her in the hospital in January, she was seriously injured and in shock, struggling to tell her story. She would become the heart of a CNN investigation, an example documenting how Israel's conducting the war in Gaza, revealing how indiscriminate Israeli fire killed displaced civilians, including half of Rubba's family. But with access to Gaza restricted, we never met Rubba in person until this spring.
السلام عليكم.
هذه في فريق السيانين. هذه ربى.
انت كيفك؟ هلا حبيبتي. حبيبة قلبي.
Following our report, the Qatari government flew her on this military transport plane to Doha for treatment.
كله عشان امي وعشان اخوتي اللي تعمل لي، بقول لهم الحمد لله انا منيحه، فيها شيء وقويه يعني انا الحمد لله.
She and her family went through the unimaginable in that Gaza warehouse. They'd taken refuge there in November, following Israel's directive to evacuate south. Residents said that in the early hours of January 4th, they heard what they called resistance fire in the area, though denied there were militants where civilians were sheltering. The Israeli military told us that after coming under fire from the warehouse, they carried out a, quote, precise strike. Experts told us that strike was likely a massive 2,000-pound bomb dropped with no prior warning to Rubba's family and other civilians. Rubba was trapped for days, bleeding, surrounded by the lifeless bodies of her 5 siblings. The youngest was 10-year-old Zain.
بلوم الشعب وحماس والوضع هذا، لأنه احنا كنا عايشين في البركس شهر وفيناش لولا هم اللي رموا الهاون صار هذا الحدث، واحنا ما كناش نقعد في البركس لولا المغاضيب قعدونا فيه. بلومهم انه قتل الأطفال وما خلوش حدا.
The once outgoing 19-year-old has been left shattered, inside and out, still grappling with seemingly endless pain and loss, not just her family, even the new love she found.
وأخوتي الخمسة اللي بعزهم وإجي حد عوضنا عليهم بردك فقدتها، كان بده إياني ويخطبني وهيك واستشهد ووقف معي في كتير لآخر لحظة قبل ما أطلع حانة ب7 أيام توفى.
That young man, Mohammed, she says, was out looking for firewood when he was killed in an Israeli strike.
إنه كيف بدك تاخدها بعد ما عينها وجسمها تصابة؟ يقول من أنا شو اللي في جسمها؟ أنا اللي في قلبها، ماليش في جسمها وفي عقلها وفي عينها.
But it is her body, the physical scars, that are a constant reminder of that horrific night. Rubba came to Qatar hoping for a prosthetic eye, a shroud for her anguish.
بدي إياه يرجع زي ما كان، زي ما كنت أنا طبيعياً هيك. صح إنه فرق كبير، إنه فيش مش هتشوف فيها بس زي بعض حيكون.
We joined her for this doctor's appointment. She was expecting to get a date for the surgery. But instead, it was crushing news. The doctor tells Rubba and her aunt the reconstructive surgery is not available in Qatar. Slowly, the bad news begins to sink in.
الامل في ربنا، قولي يا رب. انت مؤمنه اسم ايش كنت تقولي؟ هي كلمه اسمع كلمتك.
She can barely stand. No words can comfort her. She tries to shield herself, as she likely did that night, reliving the trauma, reliving a nightmare that just won't end. Jemana Karachi, CNN, Doha.